Hello and welcome to the living room of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers for October 21st, the day of Singularity. And here at the top of the page is a visual representation of the day of Singularity. We have us, well, it's an image of what I can guess is a rosette, because it doesn't seem to be an actual flower, if you like, so maybe a rosette. I had to look that one up, believe it or not. I was like a hibiscus maybe, but no, it didn't have the stigma, so a rosette it is. Any event, it doesn't necessarily matter what the visual representation is. Maybe we'll make some kind of correlation as we get on with the reading, but a lot of times can't even do that. But that's not altogether important. No, what's important is it's October 21st, and it's someone's birthday. And so with that being said, I just want to say happy birthday. That's what's important. Saying happy birthday. Now, if this video finds you late, a couple days, weeks, months, as that goes, you get busy and such, being your birthday and all. Well, I just want to say I hope you had a happy birthday. That's right. Now, for everyone else joining us randomly, ostensibly to celebrate the October 21st birthday, well, I just want to say hello, welcome, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Now, before we dive in with the redirect, something I like to do around these here parts is roll some dice. That's right. This is the DykASSt a birthday broadcast, so we roll some dice to live up to the namesake, but more importantly, we do it for synchronicity's sake, and we rolled us a 1 and a 4, 4, a 5, almost like the logo, but the colors reversed there. What synchronicity you might be wondering? Well, it's just you getting out into the world and letting the universe show you with you on your path, and you do that by looking for these numbers. It's kind of like an agreed upon way path, if you like, or just a signpost, maybe something you agree upon with the universe, that's what you're looking out for. It show you it's with you there, and you don't necessarily have to go with the numbers I rolled you. The intention is there, but it's probably ideal you get your own set of dice, whether you go with it or not. You assign directional values to number sets, and then also important is finding out time limits to go down those directions. But let's say you stick with these numbers. You roll, say, a 6, and that's assigned to, say, east. So you go east, you roll like a 10, you go for 10 minutes, and once you reach the end of that 10 minutes going east, well, you stop, compose yourself, and you look for your signs. That's right, your 1 and your 4 for a 5, or whatever you roll yourself. But maybe your numbers don't come up. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Just stop, look around, and look for something singular, as the title of your birthday is concerned. Maybe there's something that just stands out. Maybe this hot pink car races by. Well, roll the dice, because, every other car is just kind of like boring, right? In its colors, let's say. So roll your dice, find out how long to follow that car. Maybe it's just for 5 minutes. So you just go in the direction of that car for 5 minutes. You go a little bit on instinct here, but maybe at the end of that 5 minutes, you find yourself in front of a building with a 14 in the address there. Hey, that's one of your numbers, right? So go on in, and what does it turn out to be? Maybe it's a trophy shop, and they're selling a bunch of rosettes on clearance there. So hey, what do you know? A theme can sometimes start to take shape. You never know. But that's just kind of the idea with synchronicity, if you like. Just getting out there, letting the universe show you little things that start to line up. I know that was only one example, but hey, maybe you talk to the person behind the counter there. They ask you what you're in the market for, and you're like, I'm just here for synchronicity, and they go, I have no idea what that is. Say, well, maybe you show them this video, and it turns out maybe one of their kids also has this birthday, so they close up shop, because who really goes to a trophy shop anyway? And they join you on the walk. That's right. And you get out there, and maybe it turns out their kid's birthday's the same day. Oh, how about that? So I don't know. Maybe little things like that start to line up. But you get out there, feel and see the magic, and you'll come up with your own little stories that are much more captivating and interesting than what I have to improvise with. Any event, I think you get the idea. Seeing things line up and just feeling the magic. All right, let's dive in with your birthday read, shall we? Your month is October. Your day, the 21st. Your sign is 27 to 29 degrees Libra of the Libra Scorpio cusp period of the 48 periods of the zodiac, and your quality and elements is cardinal air. All right, October 21st, the day of singularity. There is no doubt that October 21 people are distinctly different from those around them, both in their personality and their views. And although they can be charming and appealing in social and professional situations, they are often a more challenging, even difficult breed where their personal affairs are concerned. Indeed, their relationships are highly complex and made no easier by their critical and sometimes contentious nature. And though October 21 people value harmony and tranquility greatly, and will often insist on pleasing surroundings, small things can bother them, and the failings of loved ones can really get under their skin. And October 21 people are first and foremost mental in their orientation, yet they have a strong emotional drive, which can land them in trouble. It could be said that there's a kind of uncharted expanse between their strong reasoning faculties and their frequent turbulent love life. Freeing themselves from the negative values of their parents, society, or social circle can be a preoccupation for October 21 people. And after spending a lifetime refusing what they do not believe, well, they may reach a kind of Buddhist detachment. And in their personal lives, however, it is far more difficult for them to break attachments, even when a relationship is not working. They may spend years weighing the merits and the drawbacks of their love life. Discourse and speech are usually the fortes of October 21 people. They love to talk and are good at it. In their professional lives, they are capable of touching many and leaving a lasting imprint on still more. Interestingly enough, those born on this day often think so little of the magic they are working that they can be shocked when others, even years later, remember something wonderful they did. And October 21 people enjoy laughter and having fun, but are basically serious, and in some cases, even tragic people. Their great capacity to entertain and to act on the stage of life's theater make them sought after for any social group. And as parents, October 21 people usually have very clear ideas about proper behavior, not implying by any means that they are conservative in their viewpoints, but they do have a feeling for tradition. And in their family life, October 21 people often appear so strong and even dominant that others will not give them the emotional support they need until they get highly upset or even break down. And those born on this day must learn to ask for and accept help from their mate or children before that point. And October 21 people have a highly aware orientation that is impressive and commands respect. And they can suffer the downside, however, through being overly cautious beings who are cautious beings who find it difficult or impossible to fully relax. And it's not easy for them to quiet their active mind or clear their inner screen. And although those born on this day may be drawn to all types of attractive, volatile personalities, their great need for stability, both in their domestic life and career. Let's see, there is a great need, rather. Hey, that has been the birthday breakdown. So let's provide a little bit of a commentary, if you like. I got some notes to dive into here. Just say this was a distinctly dynamic day. Had a lot of positives, had a lot of negatives, and I think they married it on together for a really good synthesis, making it a really good day. But let's dive in with some notes here. See what I had to say about the breakdown now. Distinctly different from those around you, both in personality and view. And while charming in social situations, the reading claims you can be challenging and sometimes critical and even contentious, all right? Personal natures that can lead to highly complex relationships. Despite this, however, you value harmony and tranquility. And sure, small things can apparently bother you, and I assume such environments may be difficult to find. Concerning the expanse they mentioned, that gulf that's kind of between your mental mind and your emotions. A real battle of the dynamics seems to be afoot in my mind within regard to that. a dichotomy between mental orientation and has strong emotional drive, like I said. But that said, when one considers matters of love, I don't know how any rational person cannot kind of be influenced by the heart, the way that the heart has a way of obstructing those objective views. So to that reality, it's a little bit of a hard sell that that's specific to you. I think anybody is going to have a little bit of an issue with that. But the idea of reaching this Buddhist detachment from the issues that plague your larger concerns is interesting to me, though. It's enviable, even, I would say, as that speaks to the kind of acceptance in my mind versus like a jaded nihilism that comes with just being beaten down by life. Sometimes the goal is to, I guess, accept it and move on and deal with it the way that one should, and not just get upset about it. So a little bit enviable in that regard. Though the same apparently can't be said for those pesky romantic ties, regardless of that acceptance, at least apparently. But discourse is said to be a forte to the extent that you're capable of leaving a lasting impression on many people that you either didn't concern yourself with or realize that you were leaving the impression that you did, which is all the more of an interesting dynamic considering the reading equates as much to work and magic. That's right. Hey, that's huge. That's not something to poo-poo because the word magic isn't really used all that often, right? And it's meant to can add some value to something. So if you're really adding value, something you did for someone else, and it surprises you, I'd say that's a real interesting thing to chance into. Something might make your day, if you like, maybe even your year or month. It's that huge in my mind. The extreme dichotomy presents again with regard to being fun but fundamentally serious and even tragic individuals, though tragic isn't necessarily explained, so I don't know what that's supposed to mean. What else? You have a traditional view but aren't conservative, are strong to the point of dominance but can be relegated to the point of a breakdown before you get your own emotional support. So maybe people see you as too strong, and that's kind of on them, or maybe it's on you a little bit. I don't know. But I can empathize. Sometimes people put in these positions where they have to be the rock. But you know what? When do they get their opportunity to find some catharsis or be heard or empathized with? Sometimes you got to vocalize that stuff, I suppose. But I'd say there's another gulf in between that particular dynamic there. What else we got here? You're also highly aware, but this leads to an inability to shut things down because of your volatile personality, apparently, or those strong mental capacities are set. So you're not able to necessarily correlate. I'm not necessarily able to correlate the word singularity as far as the title's concerned. But I think tug of war would have been a good one for the title because you're just constantly fighting over that gulf between those dichotomies there. And it would certainly seemingly be apt, a little bit more apt there, assuming it isn't already taken somewhere else in the book. Maybe with someone else where that's a much more strong description. But in any event, it's quite the dynamic day and a good balance of positive and negatives, I would say, which I think is great. You don't want to just have all positives or all negatives, though I'm sure the authors would say, well, that day is largely negative or largely positive. I don't know, but I like that there was a balance here. And that's huge with regard to Libras, as we will discuss here in a little bit. In any event, that's been the birthday breakdown. Let's dive in with your numbers and your planets. All right. Those born on the 21st of the month are ruled by the number 3, as 2 plus 1 equals 3, and by the expansive planet Jupiter. Number 3 people are often ambitious and sometimes dictatorial. And those born on October 21 must therefore avoid becoming too powerfully dominant. Number 3 people in general, and October 21 people in particular, may arouse negative feelings, particularly jealousy in others. And this may be compounded by the fact that the number 21 has associations with physical beauty, particularly for women. And the combined influence of Jupiter and Venus, which is Libra's ruler, and Pluto, which is Scorpio's ruler, can make for excess and even catastrophe in October 21 love affairs. All right. That's your numbers and planets. They had to personalize this one a little bit, what with that Libra Scorpio cusp rulership there. So what I have to say here. All right, the number 3, the expansive planet Jupiter, for dominant energy, which is apparently heightened with what would seem to be a negative lane, they said. No balance. That's weird. What else we got here? Excess and catastrophe, the reading claims, but I'd argue there's always a balance to be found. The challenge might be in finding it, right? And the breakdown in my mind affirmed the notion as peppered about with dichotomies and juxtapositions as it was. Not to mention that Buddhist sense of detachment that it says you might be apt to find with certain things, right? And so there's seeming cause for concern with this section. But I'd argue the breakdown largely reins that in, all right? So it says negative, but you know what? I think there's a balance. That's right. Okay, so that's been your numbers and your planets. Let's dive in with your tarot. That's right. One of the more eclectic New Age ideologies, at least in my mind. But hey, it's in the book. It's your birthday. We don't have to necessarily take it home with us or start using it to make every life's decision. So let's see what it has to say. That's right. All right. The 21st card of the major arcana is the World, which depicts a goddess running with energy-giving rods in her hands. She surmounts the world and displays the truth, and she has unlimited power. The card symbolizes all that is attainable on the earthly plane, and although reward and integrity are assured, traditionally the card can also indicate monumental obstacles and setbacks of fortune, as well as negative traits of distraction and self-pity. The card reveals the primary challenge in the lives of October 21 people to make their way in the world in a constructive fashion. All right, a little bit of a copy-paste job here with the card. They did throw your day in there, but you know what? That's just a little inclusion, right? So, but not necessarily altogether that bad. They can't personalize them all, so that's what I'm here to do, right? The World. It's a once-a-month card, all right? And the running goddess with her life-giving rods, displaying truth, unlimited power, and all things attainable on the earthly plane, which speaks to this magic that was mentioned in my mind, that you're capable of inspiring in others. And I'd say the value there is in that you don't necessarily know you're doing it, all right? A lot of times people, they do their best so that they can be recognized, and you're just so detached from it that you're doing so without necessarily looking for that, that thing later on down the line. So I would say that's a positive. But also this tug-of-war dynamic of encountering and surmounting obstacles again. So I agree that this is a great representational card before even finishing this section, as it speaks to inform quite a bit of the breakdown in my mind, even if it was a copy-paste job. All right, anyway, that's been your tarot. Let's dive in with your health here. All right, those born on October 21 must beware of addictive tendencies in both the mental and the physical spheres. Because of their highly conscious orientation, those born in this day may feel the need to seek relief from often self-induced worries, stresses, headaches, and various bodily aches and pains through anesthetic or narcotic drugs. As far as diet is concerned, regularity and moderation, with a high proportion of fresh fruits and vegetables as well as grains, will be of some help. Insomnia may be a problem because of mental motor refusing to slow down, but drugs are not the answer. Psychological counseling may be of great help, but still more important is love and understanding from an affectionate and constant life partner. Well, all right, I'd say here I might have missed a word because it made it sound like they endorsed the use of narcotics, at least as far as I read it. I don't think they were doing that if I read it wrong. But in any event, let's dive in with what I had to say. Beware addictive tendencies. All right, that's right. That's why I don't think they endorse the narcotics there. Also, a lot of times, all these Libra reads, they tell you to be highly aware of staying away from your drugs, your nicotine, your alcohol, all that stuff, and be mindful of your kidneys. And a lot of times they don't do that with the other zodiac signs and days. They might pick out onesie twosie things, but they were very hard fast in making sure that was clear with the Libras. Any event, there's some carryover from your Libra rulership, it would seem, like I just mentioned. Common facet, almost writ large in that regard. Also need to escape from a bevy of concerns. Your highly conscious mind opens you up to overly concerning yourself with. So balance, again, seems to be a watchword. Also common with Libras, especially recently. Balance, all right? I'd say everyone, that concerns everyone really, if we're being fair. But with Libras specifically, it would seem. Regular diet and a understanding of your mental process contributing to insomnia are mentioned. Love and therapy are recommended, but who wouldn't benefit from a little bit of love, right? And a therapy, I'm assuming. Or at least if you have someone to talk to, all right? Someone that you can be repetitive about the things bothering you with. I would say for those rock steady folks who don't have an outlet, who can't find that catharsis, they might not have someone that they can talk to and get that stuff out with. But if you got a trusted friend who can tolerate you talking about the same thing over and over again, because sometimes we've got to do that, that might be a good substitution for therapy if and you can't foot that kind of bill. But anyway, that's just my take on it. I'm not a professional. I suggest, but if you're dealing with insomnia, here's one that I have a personal success with. I suggest trying to meditate or remote view or astral project, all right? Not saying I've ever done as much, but trying to put the effort in and doing so when I'm laying in bed. A lot of times, well, I always fail at doing any of those, but me trying to do that puts me in a state where I'm not focused on trying to sleep. And I usually fail to do the previously mentioned, but I succeed in falling asleep. So hey, there's a plus right there, all right? It's a it's a lose-win situation, if you like. So that's right. Maybe try meditating, astral projecting, or remote viewing, and then you might be off to sleep before you even know it. In the event that's been your health, let's dive in with some advice. All right, quiet your soul. All right, back off sometimes rather than jumping in, thus leaving others in peace. Be less critical if possible, and learn acceptance and remember the power of love. All right, and share your talents with the world. All right. Hey, what I have to say about your advice? I had to write it in a book. I ran out of space on the notebook there. Quiet your soul. Perhaps effort toward that Buddhist mindfulness earlier than it's said you realize it. That's right. Get started early. Be less critical. I'd say that by and large would help the others come about to say breed peace and acceptance. That's right. What was it? Share your talents. Don't remember where this might be coming from, but yes, don't poo-poo your magic. That's what I have to say about that. Be less critical. I'd say by and large that would help the others come. All right, I probably said all that. I jumped ahead on one of the lines there. All right, pretty quick in and out advice, but I'd say it largely, it's got a lot of value to it. But I think we gave plenty of advice in all the other sections there. So in any event, a little bit of a miss for me on that regard, but let's dive in, take the energy down just a hair for your meditation. All right, your meditation. Death can be viewed as a chance to recycle. Once again, death can be viewed as a chance to recycle. All right, there's your meditation. I'm not going to break it down for you, throw some spin on it. That's your birthday. Your meditation, that's for you to meditate on if you like. But in the event, now that that's in the can, let's move on to your strengths and your weaknesses. That's right. Let's do the work. All right, your strengths, you're inspirational, you're attractive, and you're verbal. And your weaknesses, what are they? What are they? You got a good guess? Oh, you're self-destructive, you're addictive, and you're argumentative. I don't know that I necessarily took any of those from all the sections in the breakdown. Self-destructive, addictive, and argumentative. I don't know. Critical, I think I remember being a word in there. In any event, those are all things you can work on. That's right, as long as you're mindful of it. And sometimes hearing as much, you can then be objective about it. And it said you're objective, so hey, I'll be objective. That's right. Be mindful of things. That's how we improve. In any event, those are your strengths and weaknesses. Let's move on to those born on this day. And with those born on this day, I like to segue into and take a moment to recognize something I find important, and that is figuring out your passions. That's right. Hey, a lot of times we get out in this world and we got to get into a job, and we just can't figure out what it is we like to do. What gets us out of bed in the morning, doing backflips, ready to dive into. And hey, it's understandable, right? You got to get into a job that you don't necessarily like, but it's the one that's available. And hey, you might just start following the corporate ladder in that vein, and it just doesn't realize or tie into something you like doing. And then the weekend comes around, and you got to change the bed sheets, clean the diapers, get the groceries. You just don't have time to put in the work necessary to figure out your passion. And so I figure this is the perfect opportunity to not only see who shares your company, but what they did to, put their stamp, if you like, on the cultural zeitgeist, or at least get in the book. And so maybe you can derive some inspiration from as much if you yourself have trouble figuring out what gets you out of bed doing backflips in the morning. In any event, it's a tall ask, a tall order, a big order, but hey, maybe it's what you need to hear. All right, let's get started here with those born on this day. We start off with Alfred Nobel, the Swedish chemist, engineer, dynamite inventor, and the Nobel Prize founder and endower. We have Dizzy Gillespie, the jazz bebop pioneer, trumpeter, composer, and band leader. He's the one that had the one with the horn that was canted up at an angle there, if you didn't know. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the British romantic poet and theorist, and a literary critic. And we also have Ursula Le Guin, science fiction fantasy writer of The Left Hand of Darkness. We also have Eugenio Montal, a Italian Nobel Prize winning poet, probably mispronouncing that. Carrie Fisher, the film actress and writer of Postcards from the Edge and Star Wars fame. Katsushika Hokusai, Japanese Hokusai, Japanese woodcut artist. And I have one of his works up there, if you see there. Now, so I should know how to pronounce his name better. What else we got here? Crazy, that's his birthday today. Frankie Fitzgerald, let's see, a woman journalist. I missed my place here. Pulitzer Prize-winning writer of Fire in the Lake. We also have George Solti, Hungarian-American conductor, Chicago Symphony. Alexander Schneider, violinist, a Budapest Quartet member. The Marlborough Festival, a conductor. Don Bias, a tenor saxophonist. We also have Whitney Ford, the New York Yankees baseball pitcher, an all-time leader in the World Series wins, and a Cy Young Award winner. We also have Simon Gray, the British playwright. Benjamin West, an 18th, 19th century American-British painter. Ted Shawn, a dancer, co-founder of the Dishon Dance Company, and overcame paralyzed legs, it says. How about that there? That's working some magic, right? We have Walerian Borokisk, a Polish animator and film director. The Polish names get me too. What else we got here? Daphne Nichols, British-American performance artist and founder of the Bricolage Theater. We also have Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Assistant Prime Minister, Foreign Affairs. Marshal Agoru, Duke of Castiglione, Bonapartist, a general. We also have Joseph S. Clark, the Philadelphia mayor, U.S. Senator of Pennsylvania. And boy, I butchered a lot of names today, so let's make up for it by doing some butchering on our end. It's not done in malice. I'm just not very good with pronouncing the names there. In any event, that's crazy that we got the woodcut artist there. And I totally butchered his name. Hokusai there. All right, in any event, that's been of those born on this day. Like I said, I know it's a big order, tall ask. It takes some inspiration, but maybe me just mentioning as much, being on the lookout for you to figure out your passions is just enough to shake something loose, get your fire stirred there a little bit. In any event, with those born on this day, that essentially rounds out your birthday reading. Except to say, your season is fall. Your sign, once again, is Libra of the Libra Scorpio cusp. And your quality and element is Cardinal air. And this has been October 21st, the day of Singularity, or the day of the tug of war, if I was to title it, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and used Elvers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description. Also for the Lego set there, if you're interested. I thought to do the plug, but in any event, that's not what's important there. What's important, like I said at the top, is wishing you a happy birthday. And so I just want to do that again. Happy birthday. But for everyone else who joined us, I hope you enjoyed yourself and join us for your birthday reading. And lest we forget, though, your daily numbers. That's right. Get out there, get some steps in, and let the universe show you it's with you on your path. See and realize the magic for yourself. You inspire as much in everyone else, so maybe find a little bit for yourself. That's right. That's right. I'm pulling for you. I am. All right, folks. Once again, happy birthday. Take care of yourself.